Okay, so here we are with Storm about to start our leash walking session. And I just got her out, and you're basically going to see this, right from the beginning with a very fresh puppy, as you can see. She's raring to go, and just getting her outside right now. So I have a piece of string cheese in my mouth, and I know it's not super beautiful looking, but it's kind of the easiest way I've found. Using some treats that I can easily put in my mouth kind of helps free up my hands when I need a hand to treat the dog, a hand to hold the leash, and a hand to hold the clicker. Um, you know, you can hold treats in your hand or in your pocket, but this is just what I've found works best for me. So when we start off, I did just a little bit of manding to begin with there. And you'll see kind of in the beginning, as we get going, she's really jumpy and kind of, just kind of full of it. But she quickly settles in. And the way that we get that with the puppies is just, very short durations here. So you notice I am rewarding her while she's in motion. I'm ignoring that she jumped in front of me, but if she trots beside me like that, I click and then treat. So for the leash walking, essentially what I would like her to do is not pull on the leash. So just follow me. When you have a leash on, you just need to stay next to me without pulling on the leash. And when I stop, I'd like you to sit and give me attention. So I'm trying to find every little piece I can that's, worth rewarding. So she doesn't have to do it for a very long time. If she just gives me a few steps of loose walking on the leash, I can click and reward that. If she hits the end of the leash like she did there, you notice how I stopped and she redirected back to me. That's a great opportunity to reward her because she didn't keep pulling on the leash. She chose to focus her attention back on me when she felt that pressure around her neck. Just like everything else we've done in training so far, I'm not giving her any commands for this. This has all been behaviors that I've shaped just by rewarding the behaviors I'd like to see and ignoring all the other behaviors that I'm not interested in. So you can see she's giving really good attention. What you notice here, see how I'm able to reward her with the hand, with my right hand. She's on my right side, and I'm able to reach down and reward her with that same hand. I try and set up like that, where I can reward her on the same side of my body that she's on rather than reaching across with the opposite hand. It doesn't always happen that way, but by rewarding on the same side that she's on, it's going to encourage her staying on that side of my body. If I reach across with my opposite hand, then I'm gonna be turning my shoulders into her, and she sees the cameraman, and so she got a little excited. And so you notice how I just wait, and then she heard a sheep. I think a sheep, we have sheep over there, and they were making some noise. But see how she hits the end of the leash and kind of gets a little excited and distracted? I don't do anything. I just wait until she redirects back on me and then reward. So that was a really good example. But back to what I was saying. See how I'm rewarding her? Now I'm switching hands around. But try and reward her on the same side that she's on rather than reaching across your body with the opposite hand. Dogs learn by the picture that they see. So if she is constantly getting rewarded by the opposite hand, and see, she's kind of switching sides, getting distracted, no big deal. She chose to focus back on me rather than sniff the grass, so I gave her a click and a treat. But see here, now I'm set up to do exactly what I was suggesting not to do. I'm careful to try and reward her while she's still off to the side of my body rather than in front of me, because if eventually she'll just know that the treat's coming from that opposite hand, and you can kind of already see it there, how she was looking towards my right hand that's holding the clicker. They're going to start cutting in front of you more because they're anticipating the treat coming from that opposite hand. So just pay attention to things like that. I mean, you can do it either way. Some puppies, you know, will be drawn to that hand more than the other, because see here, this is nice, and I'm able to have the treat on the same side as her, which makes it easy. There she saw the cameraman again, got a little excited, but she redirected back on me, so I was able to give her a treat. So I'm rewarding for loose leash walking in motion, and here I'm practicing when I stop, will you sit and give me attention? So when you go to practice this at home, you know, you're going to want to start this in an area that she's familiar with not a lot of distractions. That's going to help her, you know, catch on to what you're doing and build confidence in you as her new handler, because your mannerisms are going to be slightly different than mine. Even though you'll do the same exercise, she's just going to need to learn that new behavior, or that new, you know, partnership with you. So she did really good. That was it. That is the leash walking session. That was her training session for that day. Now, I just wanted to include this clip. So this is set up in our house, and this is where she is in our living room. And I expect her to sit for opening and closing of the playpen door, and this is breakfast time. And you notice I have the crate door open. She knows to self-load into the crate and then close it, and she gets to enjoy her breakfast. So this is just more of a visual for you, just to kind of get some ideas on expectation. So now she's done with breakfast, and before I open the crate door, I expect her to sit, and then I will let her out. And I'm going to put her back in the playpen here, and this is just showing you again just another expectation you can have for her. So anytime I bend over to interact with her, if I'm going to pick her up, or if I want to pet her or put something down into the playpen, I expect that she's sitting. So again, there's no command for this. My attention, you know, to her, touching her, petting her, that is her reward in this case. So there's not a food reward, there isn't a clicker, but essentially if I were to approach like this and see how she's jumping, I'm just going to wait until she sits, and I'm going to bring my hands down and pet her as long as she stays sitting. Now if she were to jump up again, I would just retreat and stand back up and start the process over. But she's doing absolutely fantastic with this. She is a super nice little puppy. There's a good example. See, I was petting her and she started to jump, so I just retreated until she sat again, and then I'll reach back down and pet her and love on her a little bit. So she is really, really pretty good at this. If you can get everybody on the same page with this in your household, any friends that come to visit, you're going to have a really nice adult dog if you can continue with this kind of expectation. But hopefully this gives you a good idea. Again, she's just set up in our living room, or I keep saying living room, that's our dining room. But I hope that gives you a good look, and let me know if you have any questions.